Welcome to the Fresh Air Gallery. I'm Kim. Creative Companions, welcome online. I'm going to give them a couple minutes to get here. If you would, we always start Creative Companions with some deep breaths. Let's start that here right away. That'll help me be more calm. So we take a deep breath in through our noses. Hold that. Fresh Air Gallery shows the work of people affected by mental illness or substance abuse. I am Kim. I'm a recovery artist. My art is part of my recovery. The breath is the biggest tool you have to recover. At any moment, you can take a deep breath. It brings you to the here and the now. I have PTSD, they say. I agree. Trauma was real. Traumas are real. And they recur in the mind. So my daily conscious goal is to simply be here now. Y'all look beautiful looking through these eyes, by the way. And I can only see you through these eyes if I'm here now. So I appreciate that y'all are here now with me. Physically in this presence, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here. And you at home that are joining us and giving you time to get here, we had to make a slight change. We're live feeding on my personal page instead of our private Creative Companions group page. You're welcome to join that if you haven't. Technical reasons. For our art project today, very simple. You need a blank piece of paper and your favorite writing implement, marker, pen. If you have friends with you, wonderful. You all sit together for the gathering today. We're all just random strangers around the fire, we were just saying. So grab your random strangers that are there with you and they can color too. Me and Katie said recently, journals for everybody. So I'm going to give you a tour of my show here. How did I end up at the Fresh Air Gallery? I did a show at the Fresh Air Gallery 16 years ago as a photographer. And it was called House Where Nobody Lives. And it was photographs, black and white photographs of abandoned houses. That process of photographing those abandoned houses kept me present and kept me thinking about what went on there. And now the shell is left. You know, same with us humans who experience trauma. What went on there? And there was a shell walking around. And what I came to realize is whatever traumas caused you to depart your frame, and your friends are looking at you, or you're looking at you in the mirror and feel that gone feeling, there's a lot of tools that can bring you back. Your heart's always there. It's always there. The rainbow heart, I like to say. It's full of rainbow colors, and it's beautiful and shiny, and nothing can hurt it. And depression is the opposite of expression, or the lack of expression. So in 2011, I hadn't painted for like 20 years, and I was getting really depressed, and my life had fallen apart again. And I had to move again, and everything was new, and I was terrified, and winter was coming, and I was going to be crying in the bed staring at the blank wall. And I was with my new love of my life, my man Vern. Here he is, there he is, my main man, my main squeeze Vern. He's an artist too, and I said, I want to paint. And he said, then paint on that wall. And I said, no, I'll have to move, and then I'll have to leave it. And he said, then buy a canvas. I said, I'm poor. And he said, well, gather money. And so we did, and we bought this 4-foot by 4-foot canvas, and I spent the winter on it. And it was at the foot of my bed. And first I just went yellow because that's what I knew. I don't really know how to paint, I just do it. And so I did yellow, and that was at the foot of my bed. So when I woke up in the morning, instead of the blues taking over, I woke up and the sun was hitting off of it and blasting me with yellow. And so every day to the canvas I went. And this took 6 months. It's called Dragon by the Tail. I didn't know it was going to have a dragon. But I just kept hearing, well, my friend Leah she's a Fresh Air artist too, Leah, she's a rock star. Leah Carla Gordon, I love you, sister, wherever you are. And she kept saying to me, Kim, don't be depressed, don't be sad, don't be scared, you got this dragon by the tail, sister. You got this dragon by the tail. I was like, whatever the hell that means, but okay. And so I kept hearing it when I was painting this, and I painted me first. I think I painted the dragon next. I wasn't sure I wanted another person. And it took a while for Vern to show up there. And it's very deliberate that he's not controlling me in any way. He's lovingly supporting and got my back, you know. And this is my dragon. Look, it's a female. I've got her by the tail. After I finished it, I heard in a song the words, our fears are like dragons guarding our most precious treasures. If you look inside the egg, it's the same scene as right here. Everything is everything, and it's all happening all the time. And your fears are keeping you from that beautiful, shiny part of you. And so the dragon here is giving it back to me. It's giving it back. And so this totally changed my perspective of Kimmy Sue and what I might be able to do. So I just kept painting, just kept painting, just kept painting. So if you want to look at this one now, Kimmy, this is called One. And it's the idea of how present with the paint on the canvas I can stay for hours on end working things out and making beautiful birds and dolphins and turtles and people and hearts, and I don't think about the traumas, and the brain weasels don't start chewing away. And so my whole mission with my art is to stay present myself, but to also say to all of you, whatever it is that your heart loves to do, do it. Show up. You just show up and do it every day. And like some days I would go, this makes no sense. What good does me painting do anyway? Well, it has that was 2012, and this is 2023. It has done amazing things for my life. So let's look at these. Come this way. So that was acrylic paint, and there's a lot more of them, and we're going to see those too. But at some point, my dad called me up and said, Kim, my friend just told me he painted his whole life. He's blind now, and he's not painting anymore. And he gave me a truckload of oil paints and brushes and stuff. I never had oil paint. It's expensive. So I did this oil painting for myself for my 50th birthday. And it's called This Might Be Paradise. And I was so scared of the oil paint, I started with a little canvas. And I cried because I didn't think I did it right. And so I watched some Bob Ross and calmed down, took some deep breaths. Let's do that. I'm getting excited. That too, when you're in your creative process, you get excited. You need your hand to be steady if you're taking pictures or if you're playing your instrument or, so take some deep breaths and it calms you back down and you can move on. So this was work with the palette knife. And somebody asked me, okay, I'm a visionary artist. I don't go to the canvas with ideas. I go to the canvas with energy and trusting and opening myself to whatever that is. And it tells me what to do. It also seems to predict my future in some ways. After I painted this, I immediately got on the road for the first time and ended up where? At Rainbow. And there's a rainbow road and there's a rainbow sky. I didn't know nothing about no rainbow gatherings, and I'll show you more about that when we go inside. So yeah, this is another oil painting. And you can look at these oil paintings, y'all, that are here. Come up close, because the groovy thing about them is, the prints are great from them, but nothing like the originals because the texture. You can even touch them. They're dry. You can touch them. And you'll see in this. Now, this one was work from a photograph. I went to school for photography. I've been a photographer. I graduated in 1986 from the Art Institute in Pittsburgh, film photography. So this is one of my favorite spots in Pennsylvania, and I did this from a photograph. And that tree actually is sitting on the rock like that. But if you know my work, and as you get to know my work, you'll learn you need to look close, because things appear to me in the trees, and there's a fairy person here, and she's pointing at the bobcat. There's owls in this tree. Vern shows up a lot as the green man of the forest, I guess. Yeah. Okay, let's look at these other ones that are out here before we go inside. So those ones over there are kind of older works. I skipped the lady there. I skipped the bursting heart. Yeah, she's called Heart Full of Hope. Isn't she something? I love her expression. I've been working a lot with portraits and different expressions. And in the Dragon by the Tail one that we started with, that's where I first learned, my work as a portrait photographer translates into my work as a painting portrait artist. I can do recognizable people. Who knew? Here, let's look at these. These more recent works. Let's see the years on this. This is 2019. This is 2023. That's real new. And that's 2021. All right, so we'll start with the oldest one here. That's called Morning Crone. Mourning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. I was, what do you call it, traumatized, victimized, terrified once again, and I retreated to the forest, went to the woods. That's what I do, and that's what happened in the woods. Morning Crone. And she's crying. Radical acceptance of what is what I'm aiming for, not like everything's positive, everything, radical acceptance, you know? So I'm trying to accept the events that happened, but I'm not happy. So she's not like tormented, but she's crying. Often a butterfly or a dragonfly shows up, and this one's protecting the entire heart space. That's what the dragonfly or the butterfly in my work is doing. It's holding space for myself while I heal. Sometimes it's flying over the whole scene, which you'll see in there. It's so cool. That's when I feel free. This one has lots of fun, juicy stuff in the forest. Let's skip to this one. So I live paint at festivals. This one started as a live painting at Wisteria at Autumn Fires, and we were calling it Smearamid at the time. Take away all the animals and imagine just that thing there in the background that kind of looks like a maple leaf pattern, but it's like smeared, so we were calling it Smearamid was the title for a while. But I didn't finish it at that gathering, and I took it home with me. And as soon as I went home, this lion appeared. And at Wisteria, I've been told I'm the male lion. I'm not the female lion. I need to let my hair down and roar. So that represents me there. My granddaughter came over and said, "Granny, that lion needs a family." And I said, "He probably does." And she said, "Put the baby there." And I said, "Well, that's water. Should the baby be in the water?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." So I painted the mama, and see, she's scooping the baby out the water, right? Okay, so right after I finished that, my daughter went into labor and had her baby. It ended up being an emergency C-section. I was at home and got the call. It was really scary. And I was on my way there being driven by her husband. He wasn't even there. So we're trying to get to the hospital quick. North Broadway and High Street. I'm looking down, realizing, worst case scenario thoughts trying to run through my head, and I ain't having that. So I looked up to come to now, and when I did, that guy, a big giant buck, North Broadway and High. We made eye contact.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He was bringing in my grandson. I looked at my watch, it was 7:02. I went to the hospital, long story short, baby was born at 7:02. So when I went home hours later and was telling Vern all about it, this hawk was in the top of the tree watching me tell the story. So that's all about rebirth and smearmids. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A boy?
It's a boy. Aiden. Yeah. I'll say. So here's River, and she says, "Forward, Granny, come on in here." This is my granddaughter, River. This is also from a photograph. So let's come on in here now. See, River always just reminds me, keep moving forward. We don't have to be nervous. We just came to have fun. So come on in. Here is the rest of, let's start here. Dragon by the Tail. You all can read that later, or maybe we'll post a picture of it on the live feed. So I talked about rainbow gatherings. I broke down my first 50 years old with my little old man out there trying to show my work to the world. Broke down at a Walmart parking lot. Woke up in the morning, it's raining, and you're on the right spot. That dude got off the bus. There was a rainbow bus parked outside. And I ended up following him to the forest and experienced my first rainbow gathering and stayed in the woods with these characters for about 3 weeks, and we made pancakes, and everything's free, and everybody feeds each other and says, "Welcome home, loving you. Don't you pick that up, Mama. That's not for you. You brought the art, and here I am. I painted in the woods with the people." A lot of these people I'm still in contact with. A lot of these people have passed away. Not a lot, a few. Took a year to do the painting, and if you noticed, all the people are surrounded with rainbow auras. And so are all the living things, all the plants, everything is a rainbow. So I took that back to the gathering the next year, the original, and marched it through the woods and showed everybody, and we cried and we laughed and Yeah, it's great. So come on to this one. So here's the dragonfly, holding space, keeping me safe. And if you look through the wings, there's another rainbow gathering going on there. So yeah, Vern and I go gathering to gathering wherever we end up. Again, just like my art is spirit guided, so is our travels. My dad sent me to art school. This is a photograph I took of him in 1984 when I was in college. I got a B+ on it. He was really proud of that photograph. And this is the tree line. This is my backyard. I know those trees very well. So I painted this in December. My dad passed away. It's almost been a year. That's been weird. But River says I get an A+ on the paint. All right, we're just going to go around. Ta-da! I also hit glass with a hammer in the woods in West Virginia. I'm very fortunate to have an artist, friend, sister, mother, darling person that I have visited since I left West Virginia. So, I don't know, I've known Sally a long time. And she always made these windows. She does a lot of art forms, but a few years ago I got a grant from the Greater Columbus Arts Council to have Sally teach me how to make faceted glass art. And you hit glass with a hammer. And it is the best thing ever. See, the glass is really thick. So you make your shapes by striking it with a hammer, and it makes wonderful noise. It makes one noise when it's right, one noise when it's wrong. So you chisel the sides to facet it so that the light hits it and comes through it. It's so beautiful. But you can be faceting out a piece of glass, and you've got it, oh, I'm just going to hit it one more time. And you give it that one more hit, and it disappears in your hand. It's gone. So it's a really, it's a fun art form. I love it a lot. These are, I do by commission to fit like in a window space. I've done about, I think 11 of them so far. Moving on. Art as a recovery tool, feeling safe as a female. That's kind of what this part, I guess, is about. This is called Mother Earth, and it is my idea that the planet should be safe and open and growing and thriving, and so should we. And in my case, I'm a female, so females, I mean, it's this scary place we live in to be open. You can't. So that's what that's about. That was a really scary piece for me to make, the pose and everything. But yeah, that's all I got to say. So moving on, this is the mamas. Another oil painting. So this is really recent, and I worked on this for 2 years, and I carried it back and forth to Florida in my little RV. It's an oil painting. It stays wet for a long time. That in itself is a big challenge, just keeping it from getting messed up. And it's called The Mamas, and it's from like Mother Earth, the same concept. Just seeing the female Mother Earth life-giving force that is making all of this beautiful. So like she is the trees, she is the mountains, she is the water, she is the rocks, mushrooms. We got down to just like how many mushrooms can I put? Keep putting mushrooms, and let's put another leaf over there, and like how thick can I put it on the palette knife and put it on there. And it's called The Mamas. I love to tell this story because when I was staying in Florida, there was a single mom with her 2 kids camped next to me. And the youngest, Aya, was like 16, 17 months old. And she'd come in the mornings and stand in front of it, and she knew she wasn't allowed to touch it. And she'd just go, the mamas, the mamas, the mamas, the mamas, and get like all up on her tippy toes and be so happy. So it's the mamas. And you see there's the mama even up here. And I'm trying to show, like my friend Chandra says, we're just all different tones of earth walking around. So I'm trying to show all different skin tones as well. And rebirth, like I feel like this all is her dress or her crown and her wings, and like these ones are buried under to regrow. And it's also meaningful to me. Yeah, I like it a lot. And you can touch it. I just touched it, and it feels really cool. Like I always thought it'd be cool for, like if a blind person, they would at least have some idea, right? If it's like that. Anyway, so that's the mamas. I'm gonna they'll reappear, those characters, in a minute. This is Separation from Nature, and this came right after Dragon by the Tail. This is like painting number 2, and it also took 6 months. And this is my, this was grief. This is my grieving for my personal story. I lost 2 boys during the painting of this. One was 14, one was 21. July, August. Josh and Noah. Noah, Josh, that's that order. So waking up in the morning in that dark spot again and not wanting to be there. And I heard my nephew's voice saying, "Aunt Kimmy, you're still alive, pick up the brush." Because I stopped on this when they died. I don't know for how long. And so it was first like to the tree I went. And you have to look close. George O'Keeffe said to see a piece of art takes time. And we haven't time, so we do not see, just like to have a friend takes time. So take your time and look close. I paint with magnifying glasses on. This painting makes me cry. But it's my grieving for my own personal story, for the planet, for humanity. There's one human character, and on this side of the rainbow, they all have food, and they're all taken care of, and I like these two. Like the baby's looking at the mama like, huh? And the mama's like, and he's like, nah, and over there. And so it's the whole, we have this beautiful planet, we get to choose, or we have this whole beautiful life, we get to choose, and we choose to burn it down and pave it over and hide in a hole. So there's one little human character over here, and he's hiding with his TV, with his rectangle. I have a big problem with rectangles. Stay out of the rectangles. We'll talk about that more on the next painting. And you know, in my travels, like I meet so many people, and everybody has social anxiety of some kind. Everybody's scared to go out there and talk to the other humans. And it's really sad to me that this is where we are. So, we take deep breaths. What did I say the other day? Breathing in, we are the same. Breathing out, we begin again. So, we talked recently about so many artists go, "Oh, I've been really depressed, so I'm not creating my art." And I say, "Oh, keep creating your art when you're depressed. Go ahead, you don't have to show anybody, but do your art." So when I'm depressed and mad, I went to this canvas. These are the mamas too. These are the same characters as those, but they've been taken out of nature and thrust into America and our society today. And they're not happy about it. So it's called WTF, America. Prescription meds. You know, I don't want to say a whole lot about it. The rectangles. They put boxes in our brains with dollar signs on them. They put them over our private parts too. Cover it up or make money with it. One or the other. That's not how we have value. Addiction. It talks of addiction. It talks of organized religion, the crosses being shoved down our necks. Those turned into hypodermic needles that are what? Feeding the babies. See the little sheep in the crib there? Or there's a little chick here, that's a good one, waiting for the pill to fall into his mouth. The octopus down here at the bottom with all its tentacles up. Those are it's all one system that's, you know, like Vern says, painting on your canvas, you know. She's in handcuffs. She's been restrained. She's still saying, "We're all one, damn it." She has a seed here protected in the ball if everybody would just listen. And that's what I got for you. So, this is how I work shit out. So I started a group called Creative Companions with my friend Katie May, who's running the camera right now. And we meet weekly on Facebook Live. And we do what I'm going to do with y'all now. So let's sit down, and you at home, find a comfortable spot. We're going to put the camera on the tripod now. We're going to do a little meditation first. So Katie and I started Creative Companions at my gallery. There's 2 more chairs there, y'all. And you can move or sit wherever you want to. Everybody there, grab one of those cards. Can I have one so I can show the people at home what we're using? We're using note cards today just little note cards. So you just need a little white piece of paper, blank piece of paper. And then each person just grab your favorite thing to write with and make sure it writes. You might want to make a dot or something and make sure it writes. Because some of them don't write really good. I'll take this one. So Katie and I started Creative Companions years ago as a recovery tool for ourselves, really. And we invited others to come. And we did that here in Columbus for a couple years before I hit the road. We used the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron as our guide. It's it's broken into 12-week workshop kind of deal. So I do workshops on the road now and figured out a way to do the Julia Cameron thing as a mini to hopefully encourage people to form groups of your own, to work the Artist's Way book. I have a YouTube channel now, Art by Kim Keffer, on all the platforms. Anyway, on that YouTube channel, you can watch the 12 weeks of The Artist's Way and work through the book at your pace with me guiding you. It's really fun. And every week we do a meditation. We do a different form of meditation every time because it is my hope that you'll find something that works for you. I have a friend who just wrote a book called Something Like Everything is Meditation. It's not the title, but it's something like that. Nita Sweeney. She's great. And then we do a creative project together and usually go through one of the chapters in the book that we've read the week before, and we talk about that. So it's a discussion, and while we discuss, you do the project. I tell you what you need for the project before. So for today's meditation, actually, I'm going to ask you to take that off there again. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask each of you here to pick a piece of artwork to stare at. Get up from your seat and go to the art. Katie, you go to your favorite and point the camera at it too.
Do we take our...
No, leave your art supplies where they are. You at home, Katie's going to point the camera at a piece of art to stare at. So this is going to be Zen meditation. And in Zen meditation, you keep your eyes open. We're not trying to escape anything. We're not trying to leave the present moment. We're practicing the art of breathing and seeing in this meditation. So we're going to start by getting comfortable where you're standing. Also, standing meditation is different. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, feeling our feet connected to the earth, focusing our vision on what's in front of us. Let your vision just relax. It can move around on the scene. We're going to go about 2 minutes. Katie, can you help me with that part? And I'll be quiet now and just breathe and look. If your mind starts chattering, remind yourself that you're just breathing and looking right now. If you're standing, remember to bend your knees once in a while. Don't get dizzy on me. 2 minutes. Go ahead back to your seat. Keep that meditative state going. Just keep breathing now. Now we're going to create together. Also, this is how I approach my creative process with meditation first, so that I'm totally present with my creative materials that I'm going to use, with myself and my energy. So we have a blank card, and we have a marker that you chose yourself. And I'm sure that when you're waiting or sitting on the phone, you doodle. So doodle while I talk. Just whatever marks you make, there is no right or wrong. Only thinking makes it so, and we didn't come here to think today. So we're not thinking, we're just making marks on the page and doing whatever you do. I'm going to do that too. Can anybody set a timer for me for 5 minutes?
I set one for 25 minutes.
Oh, I need one for 5.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I misled you earlier. And we have chocolate here. It's about finding what feels good. You know, if it feels good to you to put some chocolate on your tongue while you doodle, do that. Meditating while eating, silent eating. That's another meditation. You taste your food more. You enjoy the experience. You enjoy that chocolate on your tongue there, Rainbow. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do it right now because I got to talk. And so, you know, just keep the hand moving. So when we're practicing our art form, whether that be in musical instrument or a painting, sometimes we get the, oh, I don't know what to do. Just keep your hand moving and breathe. Just do it. You know, just play your instrument. And it's so fun to just allow radical acceptance of what, I'm not even putting my glasses on, so mine's blurry. Radical acceptance of what is. You know, radical acceptance of yourself as you create moment to moment. We're creating our character, who we are, moment to moment. So the Artist Way talks a lot about words like integrity and autonomy, and how are we expressing those things. And they're good talking points to think about. The Artist Way gives us tools to use. The Morning Pages is one, and that's journaling. Just writing down first thoughts. Mine turned to affirmations by page 3. She asks us to do 3. It's a know thyself kind of practice. It's where I work out my issues. She also asks us to take an artist date, which is kind of what y'all are doing now. Doing something fun for your artist self where you just play. She suggests that you take those artist dates all by yourself. This is the hardest one for me as a codependent mother and grandmother. Taking time all by myself. First, my artist dates were painting. That's an artist date because I'm doing something I love to do. But then that became my only artist date, and that's also my source of income. So I have to look for other things. And these are just things that, like, free up your mind to see something different, to be inspired. There you go. To be inspired. To try something new, which you're doing right now, doodling on your page. Did our timer go off? Oh, okay, we have 2 more minutes. Good. And just keep your hand moving on your page. Life is full of surprises, bittersweet. I don't even know why I said that. That's the other thing with the Creative Companions workshops. Somebody asked me, do you say the same thing every time? No, I have no idea what I say. I just show up and say stuff. I've been living my life by the Artist Way and those basic principles that Julia talks about in that book for a really, really long time. She says, do what you love, the money will follow. Don't concern yourself with the money. Do what you love. That's how you live a life that's worth living, that you can be, joyful about. Moon says, I will do the thing when I can do it joyfully. Whatever the thing is. You can do the thing. And how do you get good at doing the thing? By showing up and doing the thing. You know, so it's a practice. Everything's a practice. I practice yoga. It's one of my self-care tools. And that's really what Creative Companions, I guess, is about. Katie, is that, would you say, self-care?
Yes.
That conversation that we're having with ourselves. recognizing what we're saying to ourselves on the regular, learning to change those if they're negative. Man, I can get, doing this show and having my work in a gallery got to seeming like such a big deal to me that I got all messed up in my head for a good couple days. And I had nothing nice to say about Kimmy Sue. And that is not how I choose to roll through this existence. I am an amazing being, and I can do the thing. Your affirmations can be that simple. I'm powerful. I'm amazing. I can do the thing, whatever it is. But just recognizing, how do you talk to yourself? Ooh, here's one our journals help us recognize. How do we talk about others? I'm not a judge. I don't want to be. I'm not a critic. So when I find myself in my journal or in my head in real life, talking about her over there, him over there, it's a cue to take a long, hard look at you and look within, right? So, and that's what the creative process is doing too. It's a constant conversation with yourself. Ding dong. Okay, don't hesitate. Pass your paper to the left. Keep your markers. Only use the markers you've been using. Don't grab any new markers now. Only use the ones you've already used, because we were each supposed to use just one. But it's okay. There's no right or wrong. I allowed you to do whatever you wanted to do, and you keep doing that. But just use the ones you've been using so we know it's you. Now, just keep doodling as you were, but now is when you realize that your energy affects somebody else. And it always does. So, for me, I show up as Spirit guides me where to show up, and I bring my light. Because I know that my energy is affecting you and you and you and you and you. That which I do, which is good for me, is good for all. So the same beautiful marks you were making on your own paper, feel free to make them on this new paper that you were handed and continue from where that person went. And one of the chapters in The Artist's Way is autonomy. What is autonomy? Anybody want to explain what autonomy is? I can. Autonomy is the ability to remain in you and your authentic self while merging with others in relationship. So for me, as a codependent person who came from addiction, I tend to want to amoeba with my people. And especially my intimate other in past relationships. And what I mean by that, I don't know where he ends and I begin. It's just an amoeba thing, and it doesn't work. I am me and he is he, and when we meet, it's beautiful. I am me and you are you. I see me and you as we reflect each other. Therefore, I am concerned about the energy that I carry, is my point. And how do I keep my energy one that I want to bring out and show to the people? I do things like what we're doing right now. I take deep breaths. I'm committed to my self-care. That's it. And I'm committed to helping other people be conscious of their energy and their self-care and being a unique expression. If you don't say what you have to say, if you don't make the art that your heart is yearning to make, it won't exist in any other form. That's a quote. I didn't come up with that, but I don't know who she was that said it. But for real, if you don't sing the song you wrote, nobody will. And we won't ever get to hear it. And that would be the saddest thing. You know, and that's the other thing I get caught up in sometimes is thinking that, you know, being that I call myself an artist. I think we're all artists. We all created, we were created, and we are creations, and we are creators. We each have a unique autonomous voice and a unique way of saying things or showing things based on our life experiences and our unique perspective. Only we can say the things we say and make the things we make. Nobody else can. They can copy us, and that's just flattery, and that's inspiring if somebody makes art to try to make it look like yours. That should inspire you and inspire them. Don't be jealous of those people that you see that are doing what you want to do. Be inspired and know that they're showing you that what you want to do is possible. Yes, you can. Just because they're already doing it doesn't mean you can't. They're just an example. So I really think, you know, the brighter we shine It gives others permission to shine. And if we all shine our brightest light, like, wow, what a better world it's going to be. So yeah. You know, I wonder, like, do you all hear, do you think about how you show up for yourself? Like, is it a conversation you have, Katie? It is for you?
Yeah.
So how do you show up for yourself? Creatively, let's say that way.
Consistency.
Consistency in?
Yeah, just showing up like regularly on a daily basis.
To do?
Even like, since you gave me that journal, like I've been sketching in that.
Oh,
and,
good.
Writing in my journal and, practicing music,
Good.
well in advance before I gotta go actually do it in front of people.
Yeah, good. So, and the practice is fun. You're also practicing standing on your head.
Yes.
I seen it. She's doing really good. Yeah. So how about you others? How do you show up for yourself?
Well, I have ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I'm really good at showing up, but I'm not so good at finishing.
Okay.
So I forgive myself for that.
That's
and
good.
I'll move on to the next thing.
That's
when
all
I'm ready.
right. Another shiny thing, you go over there. That's how my art room looks, and I think we all have all the things, like ADHD and OCD and CBDB and ABCD, all of them. Whatever the initials are, I got it. From time to time, right? Because life is weird, and it's hard to deal with all that it is. So if I go from this shiny thing and put it down and go over to that shiny thing, I don't give myself any hell about that whatsoever. And there's lots of unfinished things laying around, and I may or may not finish them. You know?
I think I might be done with it, even if.
And you may be done with it. You may look at it later and go, oh, well, that's why I walked away, because I'm done. Right. So just allowing you to be whatever it is that label they put on you says that you are, whatever. But just allowing you to be how you are, you know? And, that, like, are we dinging again? Okay, pass to the left again. Keep your markers. Just keep your hand moving. The goal is to do this. If you all at home or by yourself, just keep doodling on your own page and change markers, do whatever you want. If you have people in your presence there at home, pass with them. Oh, Aubrey says enjoy the banana roll. She already did, Aubrey. Aubrey made us a great banana roll. She's super mom and couldn't be here with us in person because the baby had a rough night. So I'm glad you're watching at home, Aubrey. So I wrote in my journal today, ending with, and I write every day, and I've been doing it for 29 years, you guys, since my son was born. And I don't go back and read them. Occasionally I do, just pick one up and flip to a page to see what. It cracks me up sometimes. I'm a hoot. I get really mad. And, yeah. And I get really lovey-dovey. So today was really lovey-dovey. And one of the phrases I like to say to myself in the morning to set my energy right is, let's live today like only love matters. Let's just do that. Yeah, that feels good. Also, when you're doing your creative process, remember to breathe. Learning to deep breathe like that on the regular is washing and calming your system. It's like a wash, you know? I thought I like to think with that deep breathing, sometimes when things get spiraling and I stop to breathe, first I think, I'm okay. I'm okay. Better and better. Better and better. And move on. Anybody else want to talk about how they show up for themselves or how they think about that in their life? Or maybe if you just don't even think about that, I'd love to know that too. Anybody want to share?
Yeah, I don't think about that.
Yeah, but I bet you think about how you show up for other people.
All the time.
Right, and that's normal and that's a tendency. So maybe in the next weeks think about like, oh, what would Bonnie like to do for Bonnie? You know, and for me a lot of times it is, I'd like to eat that chocolate. You'd like to eat that ice cream.
Oh, you know me too well.
But it is good. And like one of my friends said, you know, treat yourself daily. Make sure you're having fun daily. Sometimes we have to remember to schedule fun because we want to be grown-ups. We think we're all grown up and doing grown up stuff. We don't have to do fun stuff because we got to do grown up stuff. So if you have to, schedule time in for the fun stuff. Schedule time in for dates with your people. Not just dates with yourself, but dates with your people. Do things like this. Invite them over and color and talk about stuff. You know, we all got used to a little bit of hermiting, I think, with the thing and the stuff and the world we live in. Everybody got used to hermiting. And it's nice to hermit. It feels good to be with yourself and do stuff and create stuff. I created a lot of art when I'm hermiting. But I also know that the longer I stay in, the harder it is for me to get out and the weirder I feel. So it's important to go to the places where you know your people are, the like-minded ones. You know who they are. Go be in their presence. Y'all are here with me now, and I appreciate it very much. Remember to breathe. Keep breathing. I'm going to set my pen down. Oh, we're dinging. Nope, we got another minute. Don't hurry. Oh, here's the thing, too. If your dreams are always in the process of coming true, and this is just my thought, you're getting closer to it all the time, aren't you? If your dreams are going to come true, and I believe that they are, I believe in you and your dreams, and I believe in me and my dreams. Can I keep from hurrying when I know it's getting closer? Can I just let it come at me at the pace it's coming and keep from hurrying? Because when you hurry is when you trip and fall. Or when you're doing your art and you get excited and you try to hurry that next brush stroke, you know, it's when you go, oops, you know, and spill the paint or whatever. So can you take a deep breath? When you get excited and things are going really good, and, you know, then it feels to me, it gets like a whirlwind if I don't control my breath and stay present. It's just a whirlwind and the events went by and then it's over and I go, wow, that felt like something, but I'm not sure I was even there. So can we stay calm even in the whirlwind? And we can, simply by taking deep breaths. Is it time to pass your paper to the left? And hopefully the goal is we're going to keep doing this till we get our own paper back. And hopefully you'll recognize it when you do, with the first marks that you made. This one I was just handed, this is fun. I'm enjoying this very much. I'm going to just show the camera the paper I have. Hi, Wolf, I just saw that you're watching. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Michelle. So here's what the piece of paper I was just handed to put marks on. And I'm working with blue. Teamwork makes the dream work, you know. It's so true. And that's part of what this creative project is showing us. Together as a team, we are making beautiful things. What did Katie say to me in a dark alley once? What did you say, Katie?
You're making wonderful things happen.
I know, you're doing amazing things. I surprised her and appeared in an alley out of the darkness. She said, you're doing amazing things. Thank you. So are you. So just keep your hand moving. Keep just making beautiful marks that only you can make. Take a deep breath. If you just got here, we're doodling and using all the colors or whatever you want to do. If you have friends with you, we're doing a collaborative and passing our piece of paper every 5 minutes to the next person. And we're talking about the creative process. So after, let's see, my self-care looks like this. I maybe read a chapter or a few pages in the Artist's Way. I do my journal. I do my marker meditation. Here, I just flipped to a page in the Artist's Way. So y'all now are practicing the art of breathing. You're always doing that, but make it more and more conscious. So consciously breathing. You're practicing the art of creating right now with your hands. And I'm going to ask you to also practice the art of listening, and I'm going to read you something. This is the rules of the road. In order to be an artist, I must show up at the page. I must use the page to rest, to dream, and to try. Number 2, in order to be an artist, I must fill the well by caring for my artist. In order to be an artist, I must set small and gentle goals and meet them. In order to be an artist, I must ask for guidance, courage, and humility. It's so funny that it takes courage to express ourselves uniquely and how we want to, but it does. And it takes courage to show it to the world, to yourself, your art, whatever. So I'm proud of y'all for being here and showing up. And me too. I'm proud of me too. In order to be an artist, I must remember that it is harder and more painful to be a blocked artist than it is to actually do the work. I think that's a good one. And we're all artists, remember, so I'm talking to everybody. So remember that it's harder and more painful to be a blocked artist than it is to actually do the work. Think about that. In order to be an artist, I must be alert, always, for the presence of synchronicities leading and helping my artist. So I must be alert, always, for the presence of spirit, synchronicities, Boo Radley moments that tell me what to do next. Those are like clues on your path. It's your path. So when you see 1111, like me, I go, oh, aha. And it makes you stop, be aware, so you can create from your unique self. Number 7, in order to be an artist, I must choose companions who encourage me to do the work. Not just talk about doing the work or why I'm not doing the work, but encourage me to actually do the work. So be with like-minded fellows. Believing Mirrors, Creative Companions is a great space, a safe space to share your art and work out your things and be with other creative people. In order to be an artist, I must remember that, let me say that again. In order to be an artist, you must remember that your higher self loves creativity. The higher self is the one that knows and the one that wants to express. You have lots of selves in there. I have a snotty-nosed, bratty child self that gets triggered real easy, that gets real sad and real mad. Pass your paper. The higher self is the one that knows that it knows. You always know the next right thing to do. You do. If you just breathe and check in, it might not be the easiest, and it usually isn't, but you know. So we learn to listen to that. And remember that your higher self loves you and loves creativity. It loves for you to create. My higher self gets so excited when I make something. It's a really great feeling. So in order to be an artist, I must remember that it is my job to do the work, not judge the work. You're not a judge. You're not a critic. You're just a creator. And you can't create perfection. It doesn't exist. Not in nature. And nature's the most perfect thing I can think of. And everything's random. Right? Vern says, if you're a visual artist and he says, you put the bar in the air too high, Kim. Nothing's any harder than anything else. Can you make straight lines and curved lines? Yes. Is everything made of straight lines and curved lines? Yes. Then you can make whatever you want. Nothing's harder than anything else. Only thinking makes it so. So be careful with your things. Okay, rules of the road. In order to be an artist, it says, place this sign in your workplace. Creator within, I will take care of the quantity. You take care of the quality. So I show up to my canvas with the idea that I will make everything beautiful and that will be my life. I will make as much art as I can possibly make in my lifetime as long as I shall live. And I will do that by controlling the quantity, showing up and doing the do. What appears and what I make, I have no clue. That's Spirit's ideas that come as I experience life, I didn't know I would be doing these paintings. I strictly painted for self-care, and now I show them to people, and I sell prints, and I make my living off of my art. I did not expect that. As a photographer, I was used to doing it that way. So be open to change and just flow with it. Radical acceptance of what is. Sally will say to me, well, that happened. What do you make of it? That's always the question. Something happened. Breathing helps with that too, practicing the pause. Don't respond right away. Ask yourself, okay, so this is what happened. How do I want to respond to that? What do I create out of that? What do I make of it? Yes. So we work with affirmations. Sometimes, like, I see some words on some of the cards I've been handed, and it's fun to make art for yourself to keep in your space that have affirmations. And an affirmation may be something that you're working towards, a thought that you'd like to be true. And it helps to see it over and over and over and read it over and over and over and write it over and over and over. As a trauma survivor, I have a hard time feeling safe in my life. So I have art in my space that says, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe, where I can read it every day because I need to be reminded. I'm safe. It's safe to be me. Now, that's the other thing. Your art in the act of what you're doing right now has you nailed to the present moment, does it not? You're here right now. Are you thinking of other things? Or are you totally here? You know, and having PTSD taught me how often I was not present and how vulnerable that made me. So that's one way I stay safe, is I breathe and stay in the present moment. Then I can see if there's somebody coming up behind me or whatever. If I'm lost in my head, I might miss it. So, present moment, sacred moment. Present moment, beautiful moment. Present moment, only moment. The past is gone. The future's not here yet. The present is now. I feel pretty good now. There's a good question to ask yourself in the now on the regular. How do I feel? How do I feel in my body? With yoga, we learn to breathe and allow ourselves to move, and the body will move where it needs to feel better every time. All we got to do is breathe. And pass our paper. Okay. Pass your paper. How y'all doing there at home? Thanks for being here. I love you. I love you all here, too. It's like one of my favorite thing to do. Oh, this one has nice words. Oh, I love it. Yay. Yay, everybody. Oh, and Katie and I were talking a little bit, and Vern and I talk about this, too, about how sometimes, especially if you deal with mental health issues, you deal with depression, it becomes a habit. And then it feels weird to feel good. Or you've leveled up. Katie's leveled up. And can you talk about that a little bit, Katie?
Just having like massive growth.
Yeah, and how maybe...
And then just like being comfortable with being in that space and like taking compliments and everything from my colleagues and people that, you know, that I supervise, and, you know, them talking about like all the great things that I'm doing. And these are the things that I write in my journal. Like, I'm confident, I'm poised, I know what I'm doing. Like, I write all those things, but then in my workspace, when colleagues and supervisees want to say those things to me, I'm like, ugh.
For real?
Yeah, right.
Right. Or like for me, when like Bonnie tells me how amazing and wonderful I am, I'm working on being open and receiving that.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
seeing myself as that.
Yeah.
But we get used to, or maybe we have some defining things that we say to ourselves about who we are that aren't even true. And so affirmations can help us to turn that around and see ourselves in a new light. Just seeing yourself as an artist might be a shift for the better. You know? Maybe you received a lot of bad messages. I had some tapes that played over in my head that were absolutely not serving me well. And that's a question I ask myself about the thoughts that repeat in my head. Is that serving you well? Then stop thinking it if it's not. There's a line in a movie that says, is that the garbage you're thinking? Because if it is, I hope you got another thought coming. follow that up with something better. So yeah. Somebody said, every act of creating a piece of art is like asking to be judged, to be rejected, or accepted. So when we show our art, is that it? We're asking to be accepted or rejected? I mean, ultimately, that's what you get from others. They either accept you or reject you. I'm learning to be okay either way. I don't make art to receive acceptance. I make art to express myself. I'm happy, though, to receive acceptance when I do. I did get a rejection lately, and it didn't affect me at all because I'm used to getting rejections, and that's okay. I just go on to the next asking. Somebody didn't want my art in their show, but that's okay. 2 people did recently. So, and that's the other thing, realizing how often we focus on the negative things or focus on the traumas that have happened in the past and replay those tapes. Do we bother replaying the tapes of the miraculous, wonderful, joyful moments that happened? We could make a conscious effort to do so. Remember that time we went on that bike ride, 150 miles? Yeah, I was so sore. But it was such a good time, and I couldn't believe I did it. Somebody said, remember all the times you won? How often do you remember that? Oh, yeah, I got an A on that, or I won the race in 3rd grade. But we tend to remember the times that we think that we failed. So be nicer to you is the point, I guess. I want to see where we are on papers. Oh, we're doing good. Okay. I'll flip to another page in the Artist's Way. Engine, is that you? Hi, Tom. I'm glad you're here from Pennsylvania. We got people from Florida, Pennsylvania, all over the place watching us. Oh, here's a good chapter. I just flipped to another page in the Artist's Way. And this chapter is called Recovering a Sense of Compassion. I once wrote a poem that said, compassion is all out of fashion. It seems that anger is all of the rage. That's the other thing in our journals. If you sit down and journal every day, you'll write poems and songs and stuff like you didn't know you could. Pass your paper, please. Blocked artists are not lazy, they are blocked. We tend to think we're lazy when we're not doing our thing, and we tell ourselves that. It's not that, because when we get up and do it, we really do it. The blocked artist spends a lot of energy on self-hatred and regret and grief and jealousy. They spend a lot of energy on self-doubt. Vern, I quote Vern all the time. Vern says, the world's going to kick your ass. It's guaranteed. In ways, this life is bittersweet. The world is going to kick your ass. You do not need to be on that team. You need to be on your team. Don't be kicking your own ass, And when you do, go astray, just adjust. Just adjust. The time you spend kicking your own ass is time you could have adjusted and made it right or went a different direction. The need to be a great artist makes it hard to be an artist at all. So feeling like you have to do it perfectly or show up every time at your canvas and make a masterpiece sometimes keeps people from being an artist at all. They just never do it. They look at someone else's work and go, well, look how good they are, so I can't do it. Them being that good gives you permission to be that good in your style. And maybe you say, well, I don't have a style. Well, you will. Keep doing it. Show up for the practice. And sometimes, I don't know for you guys, was practice a bad word when you were a kid? Did it seem like punishment?
Yes, sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I felt like my parents had a specific time of day I was supposed to practice, and it was very controlled, and I wanted to rebel against practice. Now I think, practice, we're always practicing something. When I say you might be practicing being a bitch, be careful. Because I do that sometimes. Yeah, so what are you practicing? I practice journaling, yoga, painting, glass art. Spanish. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Meditation.
Meditation, that's a good practice. See, those are all practices, and those are fun. You know, when I first started holistically dealing with my mental health and came up with this self-care practice for myself that includes journaling, drinking water, meditation, sketching, yoga, a long walk, a shower, drinking water. I was really mad that I had to do all those things just to feel well. I wanted to just feel well. Now I'm glad I have all those things that help me feel well. I like doing those things. It's better than taking prescriptions in my mind. It works better for me. And it helps me stay present, all those things, which ultimately is my problem. It's stuck. My energy just felt really hot. Take a deep breath. I need to find my water. Also, when we're meditating or doing our creative process, you may hear sounds around you that you might feel irritation at. So what we tell ourselves when we're meditating or doing our creative process, the sounds around us that we hear don't irritate us, they just help us relax more. It just brings us awareness of where we are and that there are other humans around or whatever that sound might be. I tell myself to avoid the noise. I do not want to be in a state of annoyance. It doesn't feel good to me. I get really irritable. I'm menopausal. I get really sweaty. I have to drink a lot of water and move myself away from people and take deep breaths. Yeah. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're creating. Hi, Maiken. You're an inspiration too. Y'all are. She said, I'm an inspiration. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I desire to inspire. That's why I'm on the planet. That's why I'm here. To inspire myself and others to use their creative gifts, to use their creative voice, to be their unique, beautiful, shiny self. You know, I am genuinely very interested in who the people I meet are, what they make, where they've been. Like, I love hearing people's stories. And that's the other thing. Pass your paper. This is the last pass, I think.
I think so.
We're back to the beginning.
So we're back to, let's do like 5 minutes on this one. So now you're back to where you started. This was your own personal one. So this is your own personal art now. So this is the wrap-up process. Now you can wrap it up. Oh, did you get a good chocolate quote? So Bonnie just handed me, this is Spirit talking now. She ate a Dove chocolate. We have chocolates here. Don't talk about it, just be about it, it says. That is perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm all about it. I got this. I believe in me, my card says now, that I was given back. So let me show you what this one went around the room, and everyone here, there's 7 of us at the table. So all 7 people have made their mark on this paper. Look at that. And I'm going to spend 5 minutes now finishing it up, I guess we'll call it. And we'll each take our own home. So, and these are, look at the back. You could mail it to somebody. It's a postcard. Thank you, Bonnie. Your wife gave us these postcards. She did. She gave me these to write on. One of the affirmations that we use in Creative Companions as like our guide affirmation, our main affirmation, is treating myself as a precious object makes it so. Something to think about. I like to keep that one written close by my space. Walks. This is talking about walks. This is a quote from Brenda Euland. I just turned to. It says, I will tell you what I've learned myself. For me, a long 5 or 6 mile walk helps, and one must go alone, and every day. I like that. Oh, here we go. Only when he no longer knows what he is doing does the painter do good things, says Edgar Degas. I agree. We are the origin of our art. It is our homeland. I like that, too. That's Julia Cameron herself said that one. Chapter 12, which is the end of the Artist's Way book, talks about recovering a sense of faith. And my first question is, faith in what? Well, that's up to you and you. Faith in yourself, faith in your higher self, faith in the process of life itself, and believe in the good things coming. Oh, this is a good quote here. Adventures don't begin until you get into the forest. That is the first step in an act of faith, says Mickey Hart from the Grateful Dead. That's a good one for me, too. My best stories happen in the forest. Also, just sitting with yourself for this long and just doing the thing for no other reason than to do the thing. I wonder how often you do that. Because especially with ADD and the society that we live in, we think we have to be doing productive things all the time. And I know for myself, to just as a mom, when I first started painting, my kids were still in my house, and it seemed a little selfish to be spending my time doing that. That's the other thing, just like the noises when we're meditating, getting called away. If you get called away by someone in your household because they really need you when you're meditating or doing art, avoid the noise. Tell yourself, I am available if they need me, especially if you have minors, and I will come right to the now and step away from my creative process if they need me, if you have people that depend on you. But my people were taught, you better need me. If I'm meditating and you interrupt me, you better need me, because I might get mad otherwise, and nobody likes that. No, but it's just boundaries and learning respect. My kids respect my space, and I taught them that. My kids are awesome. But they watched me grow and learn through this mental health diagnosis and all the traumas and things and moves and things that we've gone through. They've been bearing witness to my becoming this wonderful creature you see before you. I got this. I believe in me. Does anybody else have words on their paper?
Yes.
What you got?
Laugh, love, happiness, acceptance, sharing, gathering.
Oh, nice. Is that our timer? Okay, so let's take a deep breath together and let's sign our art. So that's your art you get to keep. Sign your name on it. I like to date them too. What is today? 5/7/2023. There's mine, you guys at home. And what I'd like to do with you guys here, and if you have people that you were doing it with at home, it's really fun to lay them out together and see how they fit together. So we'll do that here in person and take a picture to share with you all at home. Did you all enjoy that process?
Yeah.
That's fun, huh? It's pretty neat. Yeah, it's really neat. So and you're smiling, like they're all smiling so big at me here. Katie's sticking out her tongue, her bratty kids here. It always brings me though, to a place of gratitude. When I finish my little marker thing, I'm grateful for that time that I got to spend doing that. And I feel lighter in spirit to get up and go on with my day. And so, when I finish my marker sketch, maybe I do a little stretching and a little yoga. And let's do that to wrap up today and this gallery gathering experience. Let's stand up. You at home, stand up. Put your markers down. I'm so proud of you for creating art today. Thank you all so much. We're just going to do a little stretching, get back in our bodies, get energized for the day because we've been sitting. Katie's already doing it. We're going to get where you can do this. Knocking on heaven's door, smack your booty, take some deep breaths. Make sure you're breathing deep while you do it. Well, I got wings. I can have wings to do this. Get a hold of my cape here. This is something we do in yoga all the time. It's really fun to do with a group of kids. You can spin around too. Just make sure you're breathing. Oops. Apologize. So if you haven't joined Creative Companions, we'd love to have you. Check it out. It's on Facebook, or just ask me. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for everybody who came here. We still have snacks. Eat some snacks. Take some chocolates. Thank you guys at home. We're going to end the Creative Companions live feed now. And check me out on Art by Kim Keffer on all the thingies. I love you. Peace.